Okay, comic 102. 102. I wonder what I'm going to do for the first one. So sort of like what you do for 2011, 2012. What do you call the year when it's 2001? It almost sounds like a big number and something else. So 2000, the early years of 2000s were really weird to try to let anyone know, oh, what'd you do back in 2006? Or maybe we can sound all 100 years ago and say things like, well, back in '06, when I had my actual leg before I lost it in the second war. Anyway, not to diminish on amputations to veterans. Let's stop digging this hole. The comic that I'm looking at. Dude! I get to be Santa Claus for the week. Kids will ask me for stuff. Creeper's gonna let us give toys away? Not really! We're tossing out expired popcorn, but at least I get to slide down the popcorn maker into a pool of fake butter. If that's what's actually happening, I'm quitting and going to mime school. Hey, Santa can dream, right? So apparently Jeff is just making things up. The Santa hat. As you can tell, it looks like he's not actually wearing it, but it's sort of just placed on top of his head in a very precarious manner. I'm very bad. In fact, I have a doodle from today. I have a doodle that I drew today during a meeting I was supposed to be paying attention, of a fish wearing a top hat. And the top hat is not quite on his head. It always looked like it's sort of sitting on it in the way that a hat sits on a stuffed animal. Whereas it doesn't look like it's wearing it, it just looks like it's sort of sewn to the top, which is what's normally happens. So basically Jeff has a Santa hat with a very short pom top bit, the rest of the hat, what is that called? I don't even know, on the top of it. All this comes down to the fact that I'm bad at drawing. This is the continuation of the Christmas storyline, which as it is now January 23rd is a bit late, but we gotta do what we gotta do. So apparently it was a month behind when I started doing the commentaries in August. Did I start in August? Let's pretend yes. It was the comic that I actually started drawing started in July. That sounds about right, because I think I was at a summer job with the guy that I was trying to dare to start his own comic by starting mine. That was how that worked. And then I did it for 3 years. We're tossing out expired popcorn. At least I get to slide down the popcorn maker into a pool of fake butter. I don't quite get what I was going for there. And if that's what's actually happening, I'm quitting and going to mime school. An interesting threat, but since he had no money, no prospects, how was he going to afford mime school? Unless they accept people based on scholarships. And then there's probably a tryout. Yeah, that's all I can really think of for this one here. So obviously pointing out Grieber's going to let us get he's questioning the fact that Grieber is doing anything for Christmas at all. I think he's just trying to improve the image as opposed to do anything actually philanthropic or generous. I can't remember. Maybe I did a Grieber, because Grieber is pretty much the embodiment of Scrooge. This could have been a really Ebenezer Scrooge storyline, Christmas Carol type thing, but I don't think I did that. In retrospect, that probably would have been a really good idea. No, because then I would have had to make Grieber a nicer character, and instead of making Grieber nicer, well, you'll see. You'll see what happens later. I will try not to talk about the future too much. I think that's all I got. So, comic 103. The number's right there, and I can't add 1 to it. Comic 103 is tomorrow.